He wants to get on the mic.
No. That's Macy Gray cheering for me to go on stage at one of her favorite bars in LA.
It's California country. Did you want to make a request or just sing your own song?
It's on you.
He's talking to you.
No, I'm not. Yes, the acclaimed multi-platinum singer-songwriter Macy Gray. We're at her neighborhood dive bar in the San Fernando Valley, a local hangout called the Maui Sugar Mill Saloon, known for its live music.
He fucking killed it.
It's obvious people recognize Macy, but no one bothers us as we slip away into a booth at the back. There's only about 10 people here, and they all seem to know each other.
How about some Waylon Jennings?
Yes!
Oh, yes!
No. He said no.
They take turns going on stage, mixing cheers with playful taunts.
Marie, we're going to take a short break, have some tuna casserole, and be right back.
Tuna casserole? Somebody said asshole. You asshole. You got a tuna asshole. It's the kind of place where time seems to slip away, where the night unfolds like a story you never saw coming, and suddenly you're living out your own version of a movie. Tonight has felt like a movie from the very beginning.
This is a very long driveway.
Yeah, very long driveway. Just under an hour ago, I was going up Macy's driveway singing along to a song on her latest album, The Reset. I've been drinking, thinking of you. I've known Macy for a while, but neither of us is ready for how personal this interview is about to get. What's up? I've been drinking, I've been thinking of you. We've been blasting them.
Hi, how are you?
Macy greets my wife Vanessa and I with a huge hug. And in the background, I notice she's watching a true crime documentary.
To change lives forever. This is Justice Room.
We sit down in her living room and I'm instantly at ease. Because despite how famous she is, or that she hangs out with the likes of Elton John, Macy is incredibly down to earth, genuine, extraordinary. I'm Michael Motometti, and you're listening to No Fixed Address, presented by Matador Network, a show about ordinary people from all corners of the world doing extraordinary things. 2 years ago, I quit my job as a marketing executive and decided to travel the world with my wife.
Hi, I'm Vanessa.
And our baby daughter. We sold our home, our cars, packed a bunch of clothes into our small suitcase, and now live in a new country every single month. And something I've come to love about living on the road is the people that I meet. So I decided to start a podcast. That way you can meet them too. Today, we're in Los Angeles at Macy Gray's house, talking music, fame, love, life, and regrets. I mean, what a night. It was extremely special for me, even though I've known Macy for quite a long time and she's one of my favorite people in the world. It's rare to have a deep conversation with someone who has seen so much.
Yeah, I feel like she's lived 10 lives.
I mean, just growing up in Ohio and having the number one song for God knows how many years. And even till this day, I try to. Does that sound good?
Almost. I think
too
people
bad.
will know. I think people will get it.
The thing is, even if you have the worst voice in the world like me and you say, I try to, they're going to be like, Macy Gray song.
Yeah, everybody knows.
It's
I love that.
Crazy. And just her whole iconic persona and her iconic presence as she walks into the room, she owns it. Oh, there's just something so special about that woman. And you can't really put your finger on it because anybody could have really amazing hair, really cool glasses, but you put it all together. You got the raspy voice and you got that amazing laugh that just makes you want to laugh.
Yeah,
know?
it's so contagious. You know, I've always found since the moment I met her that she's very candid. If you ask her something, she'll tell you what she thinks. She's just not shy about it. She's very straight.
You know what I love about her is her beautiful, big heart. My God. I'm going to tell you a quick story. This was amazing. You remember the story I'm about to say. I maybe met her a couple times. She invited us to her house for a fundraiser for the mayor of California. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it. It's my wife Vanessa's birthday, but let me see. Maybe she'd want to come and kind of schmooze with the cool people on her birthday. And, I asked Vanessa and she was like, sure. I think she really knew that I wanted to go and hang out. And there was a lot of cool people, like Joey Sweden was there. And
a lot of actors there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like 90s actors. It was like a 90s actors reunion. It was awesome. And somewhere throughout the night, Macy comes and takes me aside and she's like, I got a birthday cake for Vanessa. I said, what? He's like, yeah, didn't you say it was her birthday? I was like, yeah. It's like, I didn't know you were going to get her a birthday cake with all these random people.
Yeah.
So you had a very special birthday that year, hanging out with 90s film stars at Macy Gray's house while fundraising for the mayor of Los Angeles. Does that get cooler?
She literally sang happy birthday to me that year with
Oh,
all her
shit.
friends. And, I was beat red.
Yeah, you were super embarrassed.
I was so shocked. I didn't know that was going to happen. It was so unexpected.
But it was at that moment that I realized, she's got a really, really big heart. And, what I really find interesting when I meet famous people is that they're nothing like what you think they're going to be like. That's always the most fascinating thing to me. I feel like every famous person is an extreme extrovert that just wants to go party and sign autographs and take photos with paparazzi. Maybe because that's what I want with my own life. But, meeting Macy, she likes to go to dinner. She likes to go to bars. She likes to go to comedy clubs. She's taken me a couple comedy clubs, which I've had the best time of my life. But she sits in the back. She walks in when everyone's already there. You know what I mean?
She's super low-key.
She bullets to her booth at Crustacean in LA, or you know what I mean? She is an absolute gem. This conversation that we're having today is unlike anything else that I've experienced through my podcast journey thus far. It's just awesome to talk to extraordinary people like her and get a little insight on the way that her mind works. And how she sees the world. And this is what this podcast is all about, people. So let's get into it.
The one and only Macy Gray is a Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter known for her distinctive voice and soulful style. Her music career spans multiple genres, including R&B, soul, and pop. She started making music in the 90s and since then has released close to a dozen albums, ventured into acting, toured all around the world, and to this day remains an influential figure in the music industry. She's celebrated for her creativity, one-of-a-kind sound, and soulful expression.
Just so you know, this episode is sponsored by Guide Geek. If you're booking a trip, check out Guide Geek, a new way to plan travel. It's an AI chatbot built on OpenAI, but what's cool is that it's actually curated by human travel experts at Matador Network, the world's largest independent travel publisher. I've been using it for a while now, mostly on WhatsApp, but you can use it on Instagram Messenger too. I often ask for advice on what neighborhoods to stay in when I'm booking accommodations, or you can get a little deeper and ask how Anthony Bourdain would enjoy a specific city. It's amazing. Head to guidegeek.com to try Guide Geek for free and start planning your next trip. That's GUIDEGEEK.com to start planning your next trip with your newest AI travel assistant. All right. Well, Miss Macy Gray, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael. Better home, maybe. No, just kidding.
So we've known each other for a little bit. Tell me about where we are. Like, how long have you lived here?
My house, I've been here 7 years. It'll be 8 years in May. Oh, that's next month.
And I believe you're originally from Ohio, right? Like
Canton, Ohio. Yes.
How did you end up in LA?
So when I was in the 5th grade, because I always got really good grades. I was really smart. My mother's a teacher. I was just smart, right? So I'm in the 5th grade, and the teacher's handing out an assignment, and she goes, "Congratulations, you got the best grade in the class," or something like that. So the kids made fun of me.
Because you had the best grades.
Yeah, they call me like, you big 4-point head.
Wait, what's a 4-point head?
Big 4.0 head.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I started getting bad grades. And then my mother, she was really strict and she was like, what's wrong with you? Blah, blah. I said, I just want to get out of here. I hate life. I hate school. So she said, well, if you want to get out of here, you need to get good grades so you can go to college. So I started getting good grades. And then my favorite show at the time was Three's Company. Do you remember that?
Of course. Are you joking? John Ritter?
So they were always like, on the beach and they were skinny, So I thought that's where I want to go, California. So I only applied to schools in California. And I always had like a natural knack for writing because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I could write. I could always, I wrote people's term papers and stuff. And I looked up schools in California that had writing majors.
And how old were you at this time?
16.
Oh, shit. So you were like really proactive.
Yeah. So, no, I really wanted to get out of there. So Stanford had a creative writing major. And then USC had a screenwriting program. It was the first year. It was a new major for them. So I applied to those two schools and I got into both. And then I went to USC because they gave me the most money. And that's how I ended up in LA.
And like, if you could describe like how living in LA has shaped you as a person, like how would you say that? Because you've been here a while now.
I've been here a long time, yeah. It's a little loose out here. Like if you text somebody, they don't have to hit you back, I guess. Or I don't know. It's
so you're saying like
here.
maybe like if you set up an appointment at like, the afternoon and then it ends up turning to be 8 p.m. and then it ends up turning to be 9:15 p.m.
Yes.
Like this conversation we're having right now.
Exactly.
Kind of like, so that's how it shaped you?
Yes, that's what it did.
You mean LA has shaped you in a way where you don't give a fuck?
Because in Ohio, nobody does that. Like you always call back. Somebody asks you a question, you answer.
I swear to God.
You don't bullshit them. You tell them the truth. Out here, it's just all bullshit.
I was telling her, I said straight up, I was like, 100% she gonna delay the 8 p.m. I said, when we're on the way, we were coming from West Side, and I was like, we're on the way. Message her and let her know we're gonna be here at the time she said that she told us to be here at 8:30 p.m. By the way, this is the latest podcast we've ever had. Okay, and I said, guaranteed she's gonna delay. Snap response. Yo, I'm not gonna be back till 9:15.
But you know what? Like, I'm from Colombia. I like that. It's kind of like island time. Like, I'm okay with it. I don't have no reaction. I'm like, okay, cool.
It's annoying as fuck.
I have no reaction.
I just want to put that as annoying as fuck. And I'm married to somebody.
Thank you so much.
I read somewhere, I've been doing research for this call. I know we've known each other for a little bit of time, but I've been like really excited about this conversation. I read somewhere that Macy Gray, the name, came from somewhere.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
So I saw it on a mailbox.
Tell, how does that happen? That's what I mean. How does that happen?
I'm 6 years old. I'm riding a bike. I fell on my bike. And the mailbox that I fell under said Macy Gray on it.
Wait, you were 6 years old?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You're a kid.
Yeah, I just remember. For some reason, it always stuck with me.
And what was your birth name?
Natalie McIntyre. No, Natalie Fisher. Then my mom got married. And I was Natalie McIntyre.
With a
I got
stepfather.
married. Natalie Hines.
But when you were 6, you moved to Macy Gray.
No, that name just always stuck with me. And then when I started performing and stuff at that time, everybody made up names back then. Like in the 90s, everybody's name. So I thought I had to make up a name.
And so you thought, hey, there was that moment when I was 6 years old. And so I hit this mailbox and it said Macy Gray on there and then it resonated.
Yeah, I swear. I don't know why it just stuck with me. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I was really young.
Yeah, but it's like some weird, like serendipitous, like universe thing, like where it was like,
and
Macy
now the word
is gonna be a big thing.
And now the
Remember
name
this.
Macy Gray is like the most iconic name
That's what I'm
in
saying.
soul and jazz.
Like the
it's
universe
sick.
is speaking to her. Like How many other times did you fall and saw something? You know?
The funny thing is, I
Lots of
actually
times.
hit a mailbox when I was younger too.
Really?
There was no name on it, unfortunately.
name. Yeah,
I
in
ended up staying
Ohio,
with,
they put their names.
I ended up staying with Muddy Jimmy Jimmy Jimmy. But you know, it's really interesting to me that you say that you started out writing. And that's crazy to me because even hearing you speak, even in a normal conversation,
Mhm.
your voice is iconic.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I don't think me or any of the audiences listening right now could ever imagine that, hey, Macy Gray, the icon, didn't think that she was going to be a singer from 6 years old. How did that happen?
No. I don't know. It just grew on me. And then I think I got good at it, you know.
And what was your childhood like? I mean, just in generality.
It was pretty cool. My dad was went to the army. He was in the army. When he came home, he worked at a steel factory, and he worked there his whole life. And then he owned a barbershop. And then my mom was a teacher. So it was, it was simple life, like I had a yard and lots of cousins. My mom has 21 brothers and sisters, and my dad has
Holy
9.
shit.
So I had a lot. All my friends were my cousins.
I love that.
So I never
though.
had any friends.
That's kind of how I grew up too. I was a single, I was an only child,
Yeah,
and I only grew up with my cousins.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's how it was for me too. Like every day after school, my grandfather would pick us all up
Mm-hmm.
and like school, because we were all different
Yeah.
ages. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then bring us back to his house, and we would just all hang out. And I had no friends besides my cousins.
yeah. I was always at my grandmother's house
Yeah.
all the time.
When you're a kid, it doesn't feel forced though. It feels like, oh, these are like my people.
Yeah,
It-
these are your cousins. Yeah, and then you get a little bit older, and you're like, oh wait, I don't have any friends. nobody likes me because they want to.
Cheers to that. Cheers to no friends.
Exactly.
Is it true that you didn't like your voice growing up?
I still don't. I'm still like, fuck. Like I understand it's some unique, but like because when I was a kid, they made fun of me for my voice, so I stopped
So
talking.
you got 4-point head and you got voice.
I was so picked on. Oh my god, you have no idea. So yeah, I didn't talk much when I was little.
Really?
Yeah, so even now, this is how much your childhood counts. Like even now, sometimes I'll be a little shy about speaking in front of people, but it's not because I have issues with my voice. It's just because it's on autopilot.
It's like trauma stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have that. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, I will. You did. I'll talk about it. But like, I'm a hairy motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, when I was growing up in like Calabasas, you know what I'm saying, with all a bunch of white Jewish people, you know what I'm saying? I was the hairiest fucking kid in school. So, you know what I mean? So when I still walk around the beach, I'm like covering up like this, you know what I mean? It's trauma, it's real trauma. And I see my kid right now, she's like 2 years old and she's hairy too. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh,
no.
she's about to go through this thing right now. You know what I mean? Do you think that there's like a moment in your life that like changed everything?
Probably when I met my ex-husband. That's when my life changed for sure.
Talk to me about that. What was that?
Well, we first met at a swim party,
Oh, cool. Like a pool
and he
party.
kept trying to like feel my legs under the pool, and I thought he was the biggest weirdo, but he was so fine. Oh my god, he was so beautiful. And so, but I just kind of shunned him off because he just kept. It was just so weird. Like, what are you doing? He didn't even know me, and then like.
The other thing is like you can see through water. It's not like he's doing it through a blanket.
No, but no, this is the thing. This is the thing. It probably was so normal when it was happening. Like maybe a little bit weird, but like when you say it,
Yeah.
like years later, this dude was rubbing me under the pool. Like that's some weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, please tell us. I apologize. Okay.
So I didn't really pay much attention. And then that same weekend, I saw him at a club.
What year was this?
We were both 24. So I don't know, whatever year that was.
And were
then
you
we
famous
just-
at this time or?
No, I was totally broke. I didn't have nothing. Nobody cared. I was big loser. So was he. Anyway, so we hooked up that night and that was
Same
it.
night.
Yeah, of course.
Oh
I mean, we're
shit! You see?
24. I was a little wild. I used to go out a lot, I liked the boys,
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of,
But do you think that like literally altered your like projection in life, your
totally
career in life, like your music,
everything.
everything?
Yeah. Well, no one ever loved me like that, So it was we were really attached. And then I got pregnant. Yeah, I must have got pregnant that night
Holy
because when I went
shit.
to the doctor, I was already almost 8 weeks.
No
Holy
way.
shit. First of all, this is the first time I'm hearing this story, obviously, but like that love that you hadn't felt before
Yeah.
kind of catapulted you to be able to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, I think I think most artists or celebrities, like you're chasing something. It's not like the money and the fame, like you're hoping that's gonna fix stuff. Like you hope, like say you were, like me, didn't have any friends. So you're thinking like if I get famous and I have money, then I'll have a lot of friends. I mean, most celebrities, it's way deeper than um wanting to be famous. It's much bigger than that.
There's some like real deep rooted issues that are trying to be solved with these superficial things.
Yeah, exactly. So you think like, because again, you're watching TV and they all look so happy. They look
Yeah,
like they have it all together.
I saw this interview with Will Smith the other day, and obviously he's gone through his own things in public and probably more in private.
Mhm.
But he was saying like, "Hey, I've gotten to the point where I've been able to purchase every single thing that I've ever desired, and I've realized that that doesn't necessarily make me happy."
It doesn't.
You know?
No, the thing is, whatever you're chasing, it magnifies when you become popular. Like you get more judged.
So
People
you
make fun of you
released
more.
so you released your first album in 1999.
See,
And that iconic song that it doesn't matter who you are, what generation you're from, I try is
Mhm.
just embedded in all of our minds and it will
I
forever
know.
be.
I got a standard.
That
That's big.
is fucking
It's a
cool as
standard,
shit.
right? You think?
Yeah, 100%.
Is it like it's crazy that a kid will know that song? Like it's been years. It's amazing.
Mhm.
And so what did that feel like? What did that 1999, 2000 feel like? Tell me about that.
Uh, it was pretty crazy because they bought me a car. When I got signed, I didn't have a car. This is back in the day. We used to catch the cab to the grocery store. You know how you have Uber Eats? We used to like get in the cab, all my kids go to the grocery store. Anyway, so I told them that, and they bought me a car because they wanted me to
What'd they
sign
buy?
so
What kind of
bad.
car was it?
I had an Escalade.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because I was like, I got kids. I need a big car. So they bought me a
Most
big
people
old
asking for
Escalade.
Lambos. She asking for Escalades. She's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, I need a minivan, but a cool one." You know what I mean?
3 kids. I need a big old car. So they bought me a car, and then because they thought I would do really well in Europe, and that's when I started going to Europe. And my manager calls and he says, "I try is number 1."
Holy shit!
And I said, "What does that mean?" And he said, "That means they play your song more than anybody else's."
And it's interesting because I think celebrities, in a sense, have this kind of persona, right?
Mhm.
This celebrity persona, and then this personal life.
Yeah.
How do you balance the two, right? I mean, there's Macy Gray,
Mhm.
and then there's, we walked in and there's, crime documentaries going on.
I know.
Like, I don't think anybody in their wildest dreams would think that Macy Gray is hanging out on a Wednesday night watching, Law and Order or whatever.
Dateline.
Yeah,
Was that
Dateline. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah.
how do you balance the two personalities?
You know what? I will admit, it can be, when I first started, it was very confusing and I got beside myself.
Really?
Yeah, I was really like diva, really an asshole, really, not the nicest person. I used to tell people like we'd be driving and I'd say, "Okay, I want everybody to be quiet."
You know how there's a option on Uber where you can say silence in the car.
That would be like a
You were
bunch
ahead of your
us.
time, dude.
Yes, everyone be quiet. I used to do shit like that. And they would. And then they'd hate me. Like they'd get out of the car and wouldn't speak to me for weeks.
It's funny. I so don't see that in you.
Oh, yeah, no, I
But the
get it.
fame gets, right?
Totally. Yeah, you can go crazy on that.
It's a high.
It's just so false, and you get caught up in what people tell you, they love you, you're the greatest, and all that other stuff.
That's only when the money's around.
yeah, and
right?
you have a lot of money,
Yeah.
and you can do and buy whatever you want. Like that does a lot for your ego.
How'd you handle
She
it?
walked in the car, she's silence.
Were you silent?
She's like, shut the fuck up.
And they would. It was crazy.
That's crazy, dude.
How'd you
know.
handle it at first? That switch between, I'm a regular person, I guess. I don't know.
I'm going to Gap.
I'm going
I'm buying
to
my
Gap.
kids some shit.
And now you have all this stuff going on. That's a hard transition.
I don't know. It's been a lot of transitions. I mean, I definitely had to. I was definitely humbled in a big way a few times, but I think I had dinner with Elton John once, and he told me the most gracious celebrities are the ones who are really seasoned, and he's right. Like like it's always that kid that just sold 20 records, and he's an asshole and he thinks he's the shit. But when you meet like people who've been doing it a while, they get it and they're not really tripping. I mean, you still think you're the shit, you know what I mean? But you just
I think that's
treat people better.
But I feel like if you want to get to the place that you have gotten, or anybody is in your world has gotten to, you have to have a little bit of that ego, right? You have to have a little bit of like, hey, I'm better, or if not better, as good as anybody out there.
Totally.
Right? And if you don't have that thing inside of you, you're not going to be that person.
Well, you just gotta know, like, if I think we get taught like that it's not cool to brag about yourself, and but if you do something great, you do something great. You know what I mean?
And talk about it.
Yeah,
fine.
you should talk about it and be proud of yourself.
One of the coolest things that I think about when I think about creatives, specifically artists, whether they're actors or musicians or singers or whatever they may be, is that they have an outlet. Right? They have an ability to take something that they're going through and then turn it into something beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that with your own life? I mean, has that been your music?
Yeah, I think that is it. That's the gift of it, is that you can you have an alternative to because I think most artists use music to express themselves because they don't do it well the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like talking.
Yeah. Like talking or being around people. So
it's like we need like 5 lines of blow, and then we're gonna hang out with Elton John, and then we're gonna go to the Gap. We're gonna be If you're enjoying No Fixed Address, the world's most extraordinary people, we know you'll enjoy Travel That Matters. This season, Travel That Matters is interviewing master chefs like Wolfgang Puck and Danny Meyer, the founder of Shake Shack. Wolfgang Puck talks about his culinary adventures, including the time he was presented with 120 pounds of camel meat, and delves into how his love for travel has shaped his innovative approach to blending local ingredients with international flavors. Danny Meyer explains how childhood travel experiences shaped his restaurant empire and explores the power of family travel, the culinary scene in New York City, and innovative trends in food. Step into the exclusive world of luxury travel on the podcast Travel That Matters and open the doors to top food, adventure, and experiences. Find Travel That Matters wherever you listen to podcasts. Got a gun to your head right now. Most memorable experience with another artist.
I know it's hard to pick the most one because there's a lot like.
Look at the second most.
I don't know. Okay, so I did Kanye was doing a song for a movie. I think it was Star Wars. It was a while ago.
Oh, shit.
So he comes, he goes, yeah, I want you to sing on my album and, blah, blah. He's talking like Kanye talks. And so I was so starstruck because normally I stop and I warm up and I get my shit together and I call my manager and, I make sure I'm getting paid and all that stuff. But it was Kanye, so I was like, okay. So I go in there and my voice is shit. I've been smoking weed. And I get on the mic and start singing. And he goes, yeah, that's cool. We good.
Wait. I don't understand. Did you sing? Did you actually sing?
I guess it was that really, really bad because I got fired. He may as well just say, you're fired. He said, that's cool.
Hallelujah.
First of all, I've heard about Kanye's firing like rampades. I have heard about them. But more importantly, this is the humility and the beautifulness of Macy Gray, that her most memorable experience with another artist is being fired.
Fired.
All right, give me a positive experience. So, like, who have you sang with? That you either on stage or in studio? Like, who has it been?
Like everybody. Well, not everybody. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, I've been doing this a while. You mean like my favorite or something?
Yeah, like your favorite.
Okay. Oh, I know one. Okay, so we do this. What was it? 9/11 ages ago. And there's a benefit. And it's huge. It's like Bon Jovi, the Rolling Stones.
Holy shit.
Me, Paul McCartney. So they fucking put on, the Rolling Stones decided they wanted to leave earlier and they go on before me.
Oh, wow.
Like surprised, like in the moment, this all happened?
Well, they were supposed to go on later, but they just decided, we won't go on right now.
Oh my God.
Which was before me. So I'm fucking following the Rolling Stones. It's a nightmare. It's the worst.
Why are all of your memorable experiences negative? Where is a positive one? Like, when were you like on stage with Snoop or something like that? I don't know what the hell you're doing. Like something.
Oh, so I'm on stage with Snoop.
Okay.
His wife.
This is crazy that you just made
and she just
a scenario
let me tell
out
you
of
about
the air.
time. All right, so
And
what
Macy's
happened with
like,
Stu?
yeah,
What happened
that's
with Stu?
happened.
Well, I go to his show. I go to his trailer to say hi. He smokes me out.
Okay.
We get on. I'm sitting backstage. I fall asleep.
No. You did it.
He's on stage. I'm
Wait, did you perform?
No,
Did you?
I couldn't. I was
Yo, that weed was too strong.
And his wife's in there. And you know how you try to play it? Mm.
Yo, what do you got? Neck problems?
And I just kept falling. I could not keep my
Oh
eyes
my
open.
God.
It's so embarrassing.
I believe
Okay.
it.
Worse.
So what kind of artists are you into right now? Is there an artist that right now that you think is going to be the next big thing?
Oh my God. There's this girl named Tara Renee
She's sick.
from Louisville.
Oh, really?
Sick.
Are you working with her right now?
Yeah, I wrote a bunch of songs with her and produced some of the album.
What do you like to listen to?
Yeah, like
Right.
what does Macy Gray listen to?
I saw your 9 favorite songs and they were awesome.
Which one?
You
I'm
did
pouring
an
a drink, by the
interview.
way. Is everyone pouring a drink?
Yes.
Let's pour
Yeah.
a drink.
You did an interview of your 9 favorite songs, and every single one I was like, oh, sick. And so it inspired me to make a playlist of Macy's 9 favorite songs.
What were they though?
You had like, you had Nirvana, you had Aretha Franklin, you had Prince, you had Rolling Stone. No.
That seems like something that was like staged, by the way. Those are all awesome songs. Like, what is Macy listening to right now, though? She's scared to say it. She doesn't want to plug people. You see
I
that?
can't be plugging people. What is that all about? No, actually, lately I put on my 90s essentials on Apple Music.
Dude!
Listen to 90s music all day.
Dude, listen to me very clearly. Have I not been saying since we've been here that we've been kindred spirits? I just bought a 1995 Benz convertible.
No way.
Okay.
What color?
Black on black.
Oh my God.
Cassette tape.
Oh.
We were making mixtapes.
90s
Okay.
only allowed.
Only 90s music allowed in the car.
This is
Yeah.
the best. That's the
What I mean,
best.
this is a really great transition actually for me. It's like, what is your take on the current state of pop, R&B, or just music in general? Like, what is your take on it? Is it in a good place right now, in your opinion?
No, I think they messed up. I think the way they handled the Napster thing, and then they made that little agreement with Apple Music, and they really kind of sold us all out. Like if they knew you could make, $5, $6 every time you sold a record, they would be really upset about streaming. But I know a lot of artists like this is all they know. So
Do you think that artists, like, what is the biggest difference between artists in the 90s, early 2000s to now? Like, just be candid.
it's very homogenous. You hear a lot of the same. It's either the same or it's country. So like a lot of songs just sound the same to me. When I was coming up, there was, jazz was really popular. I remember Herbie Hancock had a #1 song and it was instrumental. You had people like
You're never going to get an instrumental song #1.
Ever.
Yeah.
And Bob Marley was still really popular, and that's kind of when hip hop came around, and then you had all those big superstars like Madonna and Prince, Michael Jackson. They were all around at the same time, and Bruce Springsteen. It was just bigger, and I think the goal was like to make a great album, and now it's just to get streams. So it's just different. I mean, if you're not paying attention, it doesn't matter. Most people don't give a shit. But
That's sad though, right?
well, I don't think the music industry gives them anything to give a shit about. Like why would they care? If you're spending $10 a month, you can listen to whatever you want.
But you
It's
know
just
what?
like there's no reason for them to care about it.
And I mean, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional because when you started saying like Prince, Marley, McCartney, I mean, whoever, I mean, all the people that you just listed off, even the hip hop era, like those things, there's something that's like really like it touched me in a real way.
Mhm.
That I don't think that, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm in my car, I'm not in my head, I'm having a great time with all these new artists, but there's nothing
Yeah.
that like made me attach the way to those artists the way that
Yeah.
you're saying. I had to save up, get my money, go buy that album.
Yeah, it
You know what I
meant
mean?
something.
Yeah.
I think that's a different experience, both as a listener, listening to a whole album, you connect to it in a whole different way,
Yeah.
and probably as an artist, making an album, making something whole for somebody as opposed to a
The
single.
story.
It's probably completely different. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm speaking for
because
you,
when,
but
you went,
Doesn't
when
even
you went
exist.
and bought an album, you listened to the whole thing
Whole thing.
25,
The whole thing.
50, 100 times.
I know the radio stations used to play the albums when they came out in my city. Like if an album came out, they'd play the whole album.
oh, that's sick.
I know.
That
they
would
don't-
never
they
happen
wouldn't-
now.
Never, ever.
So I think that has a lot to do with social media, though,
Mhm.
right? You have been around, I'm not dating you here, but you've been around before TikTok, before Instagram, before Facebook. How has that affected you specifically and the industry?
I'm not a fan. I think it's kind of like, I get it, but it's just not me. Like taking pictures of my food and stuff and telling everybody what I'm doing in my personal life. You know what I mean? But you kind of get under real pressure to use it. So, but I know I suck at it. It doesn't occur to me. Like if I'm out with my friends, I don't think, oh my God, I need to post this, I'm just having fun with my friends.
But I mean, I guess like you've faced some backlash in your life. Like, how do you handle the backlash now that social media is out there? Do you just like deal with it how it was before, or?
I don't really respond to much, but I'm on Instagram, and Rick Ross, who I just love, he gets on and he's talking about how he's going to vote for Trump because Trump sent him a check during COVID. And I just thought that was the most stupidest shit I ever heard. I was like, first of all, you sent you a check. That was taxpayer money. Genius.
I just love the Rick Ross example because he's like Bentley, Rolls Royce. He's doing, I got a check from Trump. The dude's probably paid, God knows how many dollars on taxpayer.
Oh my God. I know. I was like, that was your money. So now, I think differently of Rick Ross, which I didn't want to. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's interesting.
That's actually fascinating. So what you're saying is that like we tend to stop idolizing people
Totally. I think
because
a lot of
there's
that,
so much access.
too much access.
Okay, you know what's funny?
What?
Pac.
Mm-hmm.
died in, I think, 96, was it? Or 94? I don't remember what it was. But I always imagine, every time I listen to one of his albums, I always imagine him like, okay, he was alive. He made it, right? And this horrible incident didn't happen. What the fuck would he be doing? And he'd probably be making brownies with Martha Stewart. And that bothers me.
Exactly.
And I
Like,
see Snoop
what?
Dogg over there playing, you know what I mean?
Just
And I remember
brownies.
Snoop Dogg, Crib, LBC, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
and then he's making like, brownies with Martha Stewart.
know,
Go,
they're
get
like,
your check,
stop.
boy. We got it. We got you. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, brother. You got to get your money. But then
Yeah.
I think like there was something that was locked and it was just stapled and cemented in history with Pac dying the way that he did, and the
Yeah.
time that he did, right?
Mhm.
And social media killed all of
It
this.
ruins everything, I think. It's the worst thing that ever happened.
What's the one misconception that people have about you that you'd like to address?
I don't know. For some reason, people think I do a lot of drugs. I don't do a lot of drugs, lately.
Just some now, a lot before.
I just want that cleared up.
Okay,
Damn
so
it.
this is on the record
Get it
right
together,
now.
people.
Macy Gray does not do a lot of drugs. Correct?
Mhm.
Okay, we're just putting that out there.
Lately. I'm
So it's
just
not.
kidding.
There's a couple caveats. It's a lot of drugs. Some drugs are still there, and then also not a lot of drugs lately. That's another caveat.
There's a time issue. No, I don't.
So you've toured all over the world. Sometimes we talk and you're like, I'm in Brazil, and 12 hours later you're in Europe. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, what has been your favorite place to travel to?
Spain.
Spain.
No,
Yeah.
I love Spain.
Really? What about Spain do you love?
It was just funny you guys said that too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just we were there and I just felt comfortable. Like you just feel like, some places you go, because you guys go everywhere. Like some places are like we're visiting, and then some places like, oh, I could hang out here,
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
It feels like home a little bit.
yeah.
But like home without home.
Yeah.
It's like I've never been here before, but I feel good here.
Yeah, when my kid, I was gonna move there a long time ago because I wanted my kids to learn Spanish. I was gonna stay there for a couple of years,
Habla
Yeah.
español.
but I just kept getting a lot of work. I had to come home.
Habla
Yeah.
español.
No, my ex-husband was Panamanian.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, all I know is habla español. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
And he's married to a Colombian. How disappointing is that?
So, what is the one thing that you think anyone coming to Los Angeles needs to do or see?
You got to go downtown. You got to see Skid Row
Okay.
because you just need to do that so you can put things in perspective and
That's how you
stop
know that.
fucking complaining.
But that's how you know that she's not being sponsored by Los Angeles Tourism Board.
Yeah, go to Skid Row. You don't got to get out and stuff. You don't got to hang out. Just drive by. And then you have to go. Okay, gosh, that's such a good question. There's so much though.
But I will tell you this: when we've hanged out, the first thing that you always say is, "Let's go to a comedy club."
Oh yeah, the comedy. I just like comedy. I actually like just sitting there, like you drink and then they just say stupid shit. And you just-
What's your favorite
Yeah.
comedy club?
Okay, so it changes because the comics move around, but I really like the improv. I like this place called Haha Cafe. It's in the Valley.
Okay.
But they have the Laugh Factory. That's great. Comedy Stores, they kind of let it go. I don't know. They don't seem to care about that place. It's all beat up. They don't serve food no more.
They need to serve food. I
Yo, the
think.
honesty that she has.
You know what I like about everything that Macy said? She always brings a little bit of negative with a little bit of positive. It's
It's a
kind of like,
balance.
yeah, it's like, it's not a romanticism. It's a looking at things, at life in a full way, you know?
So before we get to the speed round, because this is gonna be fun, but
Uh-oh.
you once said in an interview that if you could only take 3 things, I'm sorry, I'm just laughing right now. I'm just reading this. If you could only take 3 things into space, you'd take a joint, George Clooney, and clean underwear. Does that still stand?
No. my God.
So
I'm
what are
really
the
big
three
on
things
underwear.
you would take to space? Yo, first of all, I'm a straight male, and I don't smoke weed. I would take these three things to space too.
Exactly.
So what would you do now if I asked you right now if you could take three things to space? What would it be?
Frosted Flakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would. I'm addicted, I think.
Yeah.
I am addicted
She
to
gave her party
Frosted
days.
Flakes.
She gave her party days to Frosted Flakes.
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay,
It's on the
number
counter.
number one. What's number two?
Edibles.
Okay.
So joint variation, that kind of
Yeah,
stays. Yeah.
it changed.
Number three. This is important. Number three.
Clean underwear.
Shut the fuck up. You're replaced.
That's a very
No,
important
I had
thing.
to be like,
That's
I'm
a
sorry.
very important thing, dude.
George Clooney got replaced by Frosted Flakes.
That's true. Yo,
the
all three
only
of them
thing.
stayed the same. Two of them stayed the same besides George Clooney. Yo, you got old. That's what it is. Yo, she's ages. That's what happened. And he's married now. So,
Okay,
you know.
True.
Such
All
a
right,
turn-off.
this is the last. This has been amazing. Macy, I love you to death. Thank you so much for doing this. We do for every guest, we do a speed round. It's 4 questions or
Okay.
5 questions. 4 questions.
Mhm.
I'm having too much drink. I'm sorry.
It's so good.
And just answer it as fast as you can. Don't even think about it. If you have to take some time, take some time. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Spain, because the men are beautiful out there. So gorgeous.
I have to press my agree button.
That's
Although-
really that
although-
now that's why you've been pushing Spain? She's been pushing this for a
So
while.
fun. They just have- oh my God,
Jesus
everything in
Christ.
hands.
Macy, you outed me.
She knows what I'm talking
What makes you happiest?
about. Being on stage.
Love that. What are you most scared of?
I'm not scared. Not being remembered.
Legacy.
Yeah, I'm scared everybody will forget. When I die, they'll be like,
That's serious.
what was
dude.
your name again?
That's serious.
I don't know.
What is your biggest regret?
That I didn't spend more time with my kids. Not even more time, just the time I spent could have been better.
More meaningful.
Well, just, they just really take in everything because you're all they have. So I think people have kids and it's so much responsibility. Like, of course you have responsibility, but it's beyond what you even thought. You know what I'm saying? And they just literally everything you say and do is being absorbed. You know what I mean? And it's gonna come out however it comes out, but they don't forget nothing. You know what I mean? So, I wish I had said things different and showed up for some stuff. You know what I mean? But
And
at the
I'm
same
getting
time, there's
emotional.
nothing you can do about it.
But it's interesting because earlier in the conversation, you did say, hey, a lot of the impact on my life or the trauma that I had on my life was because of my parents or not my parents, because of my childhood.
Well,
Right.
yeah, my parents. I mean, my parents were, they were there, and I had everything I needed. But yeah, both my parents were pretty off the chain. So,
Yeah.
and they weren't like, my mom wasn't like lovey dovey, ever.
That's what happened to me too. I mean, my mom was pretty lovey-dovey, but my father was, kind of a little bit just, this is life.
Yeah, that
You know
was
what I mean?
my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
So I really think that's what I've been chasing, just like to that.
To feel loved.
Yeah, but I know my mother loves me more than anything. She just didn't. She was one of 21 kids, and she
That's a
probably
different
didn't-
life, dude.
Probably didn't get it much herself.
And how many siblings do you have?
2.
Okay, that's a drastic
Totally
difference.
different, yeah. So
All right, dude, we love you to death. You want to finish anything?
No, I was just going to say, now you have a grandbaby coming.
yes,
And that's a
Not
whole
though.
first.
first grandbaby.
I don't
Yeah.
have any grandkids.
Oh shit!
It's going to be a whole new era.
I know.
Be
Can you
cool.
grab this? I want to give a hug there.
Okay.
This has been so fantastic.
I'm so
I
glad you
love
guys
her.
are back. I love you too.
Wow, we're not even 10 episodes in, and I'm sitting down and having a conversation with Miss Macy Gray. Thank you for listening. As usual, No Fixed Address is presented by Matador Network.
Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We release new episodes every other Thursday.